டேய் போடா. Regarding economics, take 11, action.
Welcome. This is a course in economics for UPSC civil service aspirants. Many of you might not have studied economics till now, most probably people who have come in from science streams. So we'll have to understand what economics is at the most basic level. So let us begin by answering the question, what is economics? So economics is a social science that describes the factors that determine the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. So we will go into
Cut.
பண்ணாதடா சும்மா இரு, நான் எடிட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்.
இப்போ பாஸ் பண்ணி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அங்கிருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணு.
ஒன்றும் பண்ண, நான் எடிட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். So economics is broadly divided into two parts. One is microeconomics, the other one is macroeconomics. So microeconomics analyzes the market behavior of individual consumers and firms in an attempt to understand the decision making process of firms and households. So microeconomics is concerned with the individuals and individual firms that make up the economy. So it is actually a micro view. So we are actually only looking at the company level and at the individual level when we are dealing with microeconomics. Macroeconomics examines countrywide phenomena such as changes in indices of unemployment, national income, rate of growth, GDP, inflation, and price levels. So macroeconomics is concerned with the questions that affect the entire nation and not just individuals or individual firms. We mainly study macroeconomics during our course, which is what is important for the civil service examination. So what are the questions that we come across when we are dealing with macroeconomics? So for example, will the prices as a whole come down or will it go up? Is the unemployment condition of the country as a whole or of some of the sectors of the economy getting better or is it worsening? What would be reasonable indicators to show that the economy is better or worse? What steps can the state take or the people ask for in order to improve the state of the economy? These are the kind of questions that make us think about the health of the country's economy as a whole. So the way this course will progress is that we'll be looking at some concepts of economics that are very important to begin understanding the macro phenomena. So the first concept that we will look at is supply and demand. These are the basics that will be helpful in understanding economics better. Although these are basic concepts, these are very important in understanding the macro phenomena. Without understanding the basic concepts like supply, demand, equilibrium point, it will become very difficult to understand the macro concepts as we progress further. So we begin with supply and demand. These are words that we come across in everyday life, supply, demand and so on and so forth. Let us look at supply and demand from a more technical way of looking at it as we look at it in economics. So what is supply? So to answer that, we will actually look at the law of supply. So the law of supply states that all else remaining equal, an increase in the price results in an increase in quantity. So let us try and understand what this means. Okay, we'll start off with an example. So consider that there is a producer who produces chocolates or a manufacturer who manufactures chocolates, and his cost price of manufacturing one chocolate is 8 rupees, and he is selling this chocolate at 10 rupees. And at this rate he is ready to supply 100 chocolates. Now let us say the price of the chocolates has increased and it has increased to 12 rupees. So the producer will now be willing to manufacture more of these chocolates because his spread or his margin or his profit on the chocolates has gone up. So let us say is now ready to manufacture 150 chocolates. So similarly, if the price now increases to 14 rupees, he will be ready to manufacture 200 chocolates, and this goes on and go for. This goes on, and we can see a linear relationship here. So if we have to plot a graph, it would be something like this. So as price goes up, so will quantity, and of course this is indexed. So this is what the law of supply says. So as price increases, the quantity that the producer is willing to produce also increases. So there is a greater supply of goods in a market when the price of a commodity increases. Of course, this only takes into account the producer's view, that is the manufacturer's view of the economy and how he would like the economy to take shape. We are not looking at it from a consumer's point of view, because obviously a consumer will want the price of the goods to come down. So if supply is if the prices are increasing, obviously the consumers will also think more to buy a certain product. So we have to also understand demand now. So coming to demand, we have to look at the law of demand. So what is the law of demand state? The law of demand states that all other factors being equal, as the price of a good or a service increases, a consumer's demand for the good or service will decrease, and vice versa. So we can also look at the entire thing in the same way as we looked at supply. So let us just look at it. We will just have to make small changes here. So once again, looking at the law of demand, the law of demand states that all other factors being equal, the price of a good or service increases, as all other factors being equal, as the price of a good or service increases, consumer demand for the good or service will decrease, and vice versa. It happens in every day. For example, if onion is priced at 40 rupees, you will probably buy 3 kilos. You will buy 3 kilos. Let's say onion is now priced at 80 rupees. You will buy 1.5 kgs. And if onion is priced at 120 rupees, you will probably buy 1 kg. If it is not an important good like onion, say you are just buying a wax polish for your car, and if the price of the wax polish goes from 100 rupees to 1000, you will probably stop buying the wax polish itself. So the resources that is available with the consumer or with the people is finite. That is what we have to understand. So as the prices increases, then the consumer will start consuming less, so that he can manage his budget, so that he can buy all the goods and services that he requires, to run his life. So he'll cut down on things that are not very important, such as luxuries, and he will start channeling that money into goods that are more necessary for daily life, maybe like food. So the important thing to understand is, as price increases, the demand decreases. I repeat again, as the price increases, demand decreases. We can see a same kind of linear relationship here. So just have to invert this graph, and if you do this, so you automatically have something reflected. As price is greater, the quantity is lower. As price is lower, the quantity is higher. So this is a graph for the law of demand. The law of demand takes into picture or takes into account the views of the consumer, and it reflects what the consumer it reflects how the consumer wants the economy to behave. So this is the first level. This is the first lesson. So this just talks about what is economics, Economics is basically economics is basically a science that is trying to understand the production, consumption, as well as the distribution of goods within an economy. And then we saw that economics has two parts. One is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is only at an individual level and at a firm level, and is mainly concerned with companies and individuals. Macroeconomics is a macro picture where we are looking at the economy as a whole. And then we saw what is supply and what is demand, the law of supply and law of demand. So this concludes the first list. Thank you.
Clap.